How planning in seasons or 90-day calendar can save you time and energy. Who wants time and energy? Raise your hand. Where are my people that want time and energy? Good morning. It is a thankful Tuesday today, February the 13th, not Friday, Tuesday. And it is thankful. And Patty's got to go to the post office. If you follow the show, you know Patty didn't go to the post office last week either. What? More on that when Jimmy comes up. Okay, let's kick off with a dad joke. I got my one-liners, people. One-liners. Okay, I'm afraid of speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over it. Oh, but boom. Hey. Celebrating my jokes here on a lovely Tuesday morning. Please help me out. Submit your joke. We are in a theme of working in seasons and what are those benefits? Why the heck do I do it? That was important. Oh, I love dark chocolate in my coffee. And we kicked off yesterday with a short. Shout out to Charmaine. And we're not going to replay, but we're talking about having that vision instead of like work, and just for like no purpose, no reason. Or rather just in an really endless cycle. And so the benefits of having this big calendar. Oh my gosh, guys, I found this. Let me see. No, the other way. Look at that. I want that. Let's zoom in. I could see myself walking into an office with that big of a calendar. And I know we're talking 90 days. That's only 1 month, okay? Or like 3 weeks of a month. That is magical. That's one massive calendar, and then you have a little one on the right. And I love what it says. Actually, no, let's get my down here. Life is short. Do stuff that matters. Let's get Zito over here. He is in the weather mobile, adjusting as we speak. So yeah, I this is where I want to land, and I want to transition of how a calendar can save you time and energy. I guess I was gonna show up a whole bunch of other pictures, but let's bring Jimmy up first. Zito.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you could see that massive calendar. It's although I just realized that what I picture was not a standing calendar. It's actually on a shelf. Now that I'm noticing, I was like, wait a minute, a plant cannot be that big. Guys, what I was picturing just a few seconds ago, if that was standing on the wall, that will make a Patty happy. What a standing, walking calendar for the big picture, so you could stick pictures and inspirational notes in there. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. Welcome, Zito. Since we have you right here and we don't want to lose you later on, why don't you tell us what's the weather, man?
It is 64 degrees Fahrenheit according to the car in sunny Central Florida. It felt good today when I took out the dog, although she was smelling something, so she was distracted. So all she wanted to do was find whatever it is that she could smell. But since you guys probably don't have to deal with a puppy, get outside, and enjoy the nice weather. It's going to be a good one today.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I do plan to go out. I had originally had planned to do a long walk with my mom yesterday. And she was like, well, it's a half hour going in, a half hour out. That's an hour. Because she used to do it in 45 minutes. She's so cool. She walks way longer than me every day. But 15 minutes more was making mom nervous. So, but this time I'm gonna go for a longer walk with the poppers. So, oh, you missed my speed bump joke. Did you hear it?
No.
Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Since you went through one. All right. Let's see. Let's get you up here. Are you still in the just stepping out?
Um, no, I'm on a Robert Trent.
Okay. So the joke went like this. I'm afraid of speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over it.
Oh God.
You know you love it.
That was pretty good.
Hey, there he is. There he is. Okay, so let's get to our theme of working in calendars, and I was just expressing my love of calendars. Shout out to 30 Rock. There's a scene in them and Staples. You go and watch that scene and send me a DM or a text if you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I love it. We could like camp and life is too short, do stuff that matters. And how a 90-day calendar can save us time. It's do you want to just like wake up and figure out what you want to do? Or you want to like wake up and know what you have one project in mind. And okay, what I mean by one important project. We have always like things at home and other, our health. There's a lot of components to our lives, right? But one that like gets you excited for most people will be something according to their spark. And and I know a few weeks ago Jimmy had he was mocking gurus, and I'm pretty sure he was mocking me, although I don't consider myself a guru at all, and neither does Tony Robbins. A dream without a written plan and deadline is a wish. That's what we were talking about yesterday about a calendar. Like, write it down because a calendar is non judgmental. And yesterday we were talking about a calendar allows you to see your beginning and your end. And I love these pictures. I do begin with my coffee. Not so often with tea at nighttime. I do want to get more in that habit right after dinner because mommy said you gotta have tea right after dinner to cut the fat. Guys, not true, not true. It's a tradition, and I love my mom for it. She has so many traditions, and I actually do believe it's what keeps her life so spicy and like she's still out there thriving. So let's go a little bit more of how a 90-day calendar and if for you 90 days is like, oh my gosh, like I put it in a description, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, you're talking to me about 3 months, you crazy. All right, month, whatever. As far as you can go. Here's two things that could happen, right? Like when we're waking up figuring out what to do, we're gonna like stay in this reactive state that's based on feelings and mood and what we like to give the power to circumstances. Oh, it's because of XYZ. Shout out to XYZ Arts. Or it's because of my husband, or it's because of my wife. And we are so tempted. Oh man, like and I could be reactive in different parts of my life. Maybe it's not here in the office, but it could be like with my health. It could be with my eating habits. I could go and blame shift other circumstances. We all fall in between those two, my friends. And so, like with the calendar, we have a plan, we have a schedule. Like, I'll put myself as an example with the whole eating. I actually now have a new schedule because I'm in a new program where I am going through a detox, and I have a calendar, right? And in the calendar, I probably need a lot. I need more reinforcement. I gotta get Alexa give me alerts and my Siri give me alerts. But having that, I do less thinking. Let me zoom in. Where am I? Less thinking, my friends. It is so time and energy consuming to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Like, why am I still bloated? Why am I still sick? Why? Um, Instead of looking at a plan, it's written down, it's cross-referenced with your coach, it's clear, it's out there. Less judgment. So that's what I mean by that, and I hope that this example can help us all. Let's put it this way. I think that's much better. We're more tempted to rely on moods and feelings. Being proactive, meaning, guys, for the same time you sit down and figure out what you're doing today, what about grabbing that same time to figure out what you're going to do for the week, for the month, or for this season, for the winter? Right? What about that? It's the same amount of time. So I don't know how long you spend sitting like, oh, what am I going to do today? How long is that process? Give it a test. I mean, find out, look at a clock, see how long that takes. What about taking that same stinking time to get excited about something? And that's why I love my calendars, and I geek out with calendars like this. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Again, I thought it was a wall calendar. Guys, it's actually a shelf. I was envisioning a wall. I This is sort of a half a wall what I got going on here. So on top of it, I have my weekly dates. Where is it? I don't know if you guys can see it. Boom. Okay. I did say I was going to share. Okay. I'll prepare for tomorrow to share what I like to see. Um, and so again, a calendar has to be, it's a deadline. Okay, some of us don't like that word. Some of us don't like to be told what to do or to be pressure. I'm with you. Absolutely. I was just thinking the other day, possibly this morning. I was like, wow, yeah. I only like to work for others when there's good leadership. I know. It's true. It's true. It's got to be real with myself, right? I'm not saying like I'm super proud of that. It's what uh makes me strive or thrive for um having my own business and being a person of integrity to give it my all. I want to be in the same kind of environment. And I do believe that Jimmy and I are going to be joining a team. And that's the goal. That's the intention, is to join a team with those same values. And anyway, all right. So proactive, just taking like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to do something that's based on, I mean, actually, even before that, just taking 15 minutes to have a vision for what is it I want to do, just thinking about it instead of like every day, what am I going to do today? What can I do this winter? What can I do this February? And and when you ask yourself, though, when you stretch yourself, because that's what it is, right? So if you're used to doing this every day, when you stretch yourself to go a little further, there is no denying that you're going to start thinking about what's important to you. What are some of those values? What are some of the principles? What do you stand for? When we ask those questions, when we look at the big picture. So, again, I'm going to go back to this calendar. If I could have this calendar here the whole time, which is life is short, do stuff that matters. Because, guys, most people who complain about, oh, Patty, I don't plan. Oh, Patty, I don't want to be disciplined. I'm spontaneous. Like, I've gotten it all. Oh, Patty, I don't want to plan because I write something and I don't do it and I get disappointed. I mean, it is endless reasons that I've heard. Um, and the one, because it's my nature, so I attract people who are very spontaneous and woo. To have had all these reasons, Patty, no, I'm not going to do that. And of course, that's their choice. Um, and what I want to focus on is that it's yeah, it's a choice that we can make with our precious time. So a calendar, it's putting down the stuff that matters. Start with that. Yeah, let me back up for a second, because I think people represent or have them make the mistake that what I mean by doing a calendar is like you're doing all your to-do lists in a calendar. I've seen that. I've seen monthly calendars that take the kids to here, doctor's appointment, and you fill it out with do. It's the things that matter the most, like the fun stuff. And that's what I'm going to keep talking about. I know, again, Jimmy was mocking me last week. Yeah, we're going to be a guru. You got to do this. Have a plan. What are you going to do? No, that is not my style of coaching whatsoever. Again, clients, please drop it in the comments. I'm going to give you a choice, and you're going to be the one ultimate person to make that choice. So this is my proposition. I've done this, I've used this, like this has been my jam for the past 5 years. um and of course, on my husband, I'm gonna be super aggressive because I live with a man, right? But with clients and with you guys, hey guys, you got a choice. And of course, I'm saying I'm wrong, because what my husband does, it is none of my business. Okay, that is his walk, his life. And anyway, I'm saying that for accountability, to help out the sister over here. All right, if you're a reader, there's more into this topic of reactive or proactive responses. Again, we have them all. Okay, we, in different categories, different spaces of our lives, we could have them both. For the topic of this lovely show, I wanted to just compare that to a calendar, to get us excited. And again, I'm gonna land right here. I'm gonna let Jimmy jump in if he wants to talk about what he likes about his calendar. I remember, honey, when you were youth and family director in Staten Island, and you bringing your calendars, and I believe it was Helen had I guess you had worked together on yours for your program, and you seemed so excited to do that calendar. I remember, and you had different colors. I mean, let's not deny it, little nerd. You had different colors going on. But anyway, talk to
Sure.
us about your passion for calendars. But anyway, let's get you up and close. Oh, I'm sorry, and you're not chewing because I did not buy you bread.
That's right. No
And I'm
breakfast.
gonna drink and let you share if you
Calendars are
wish.
great. I love calendars.
Yeah, you're not gonna admit how much you actually do love calendars.
I do, yeah. I do like calendars, especially if you're running something like a year long program or a year long cycle of programs.
Yeah,
Just
talk to
seeing
us about the cycles. Oh my gosh, that's right, because that's the theme that we're in.
just seeing how everything fits together, and knowing that it's the transition times that can cause you the most problems. So making sure you're budgeting in like downtime and reset time and all of the different the different changes that you go through if you're running something for a year or a whole bunch of things that all kind of fit together. You know, so it's a fun challenge. It's definitely something that you have to plan out if it's going to be effective. You know, like I say, with a lot of things that would happen in New York, where we used to live, the city would always get surprised the first time it ever snowed every year, and it's like, guys, this happens literally every year. Like
Uh,
we should know it's gonna snow. You know,
yeah, I remember you doing that, right? Because we could easily absolutely judge that. And so yeah, so but
Yeah,
yeah, for
and,
sure.
and where we live now, Florida, they actually seem more like
Yes.
smarter in some ways than New York. They're like, yeah, we have hurricanes every year. We're prepared for it. Like,
Yeah.
it's nothing like where you have to experience a hurricane to like get ready for it. Like the
Yeah.
way it is in New York, it's like the first snowstorm, they're just not very good at cleaning the roads and getting everything ready.
Or it
It's like they're
takes
like,
too
oh,
long.
oh wow, we live in the Northeast. Why is it snowing?
You think
But
could it
yeah,
be that Florida has gotten more disasters and therefore they've woken up to it?
yeah, it could be.
Could be, right? Because I mean, in New York, we don't get every year. We don't get a snowstorm every year or a blizzard every year.
Well, and even when it
Um,
snows, it's not like there's massive destruction. It's just everything shuts down for a day.
oh, right, right. I mean, you know what? I
Yeah.
feel like that's definitely in Staten Island. You're right about Staten Island because remember by the mall, all the trucks will line up,
Yeah.
but that was like on the third or fourth snow day. But they were shocked on the first one.
They always like seem shocked. Like all the businesses were like, "What?
Yeah,
You're not coming to work?"
yeah.
The schools though, like when people were in charge of children, they were always on it. They were like they had their people out. They they
Mhm.
most schools don't rely on the city to clean their sidewalks. They have their own people, and most schools, in my experience, are prepared. Because they know some of those kids don't necessarily have any other place to go if their parents have to work. You
That's
know.
true. That is one thing New York does have, creating that space. And I know they're dealing with all the immigrant issues going on, and schools are full and all that. So yeah, it's new challenges. So shout out to all the principals in New York that we either have worked with or been part of as staff, like myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's very true. It's they're always that was always a place. I remember like in summer, if I was still hungry from summer, I would go to school to get lunch. I remember doing that one time. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, we're by a school, let's go get lunch, if it's burgers. I used to like because I couldn't stand cafeteria food, but the burgers I remember liking. Everything else was gross. But burgers, yeah, those are my favorite types of lunches. Babe, in the theme though, really quick, because you were talking about cycles. What was something that you looked well actually, no. If we do more theme, no, I'm gonna go with the original. What was something you look forward to at the end of your cycles? What was the one thing that you were like, well, actually, in the culture that we were in, that we all look forward to, and when that was done, we were done. Do you know what that is?
Summer camp.
Oh, I guess that's for you, right? Okay, sure. What happened at the end of summer camp? What was some of the stuff that you did at the end of that cycle?
Well, I mean, going back to the calendar thing, it's a good question that you asked because I think for me, like the things that you always wanted to make sure you got right were the beginnings and endings.
Yeah.
And because like once you get in the middle of it, you're in the middle of it, and you really can't change much. So if you can get your beginnings and endings right with whatever you're doing, and that
Yes.
means that everything has like an expiration date, everything will end. So you just have to like build in that time in the beginning to make sure you're starting right. Like you need to be ready for your staff. Your administrators need to be ready for the people they're going to be they're going to be leading. And then when the people come, you need to be ready to like give them something like to do that's like meaningful, not just busy work, because
Keyword
people can
meaningful.
tell people can tell when you're giving them this just stuff to do when you're not ready. Like you need to be ready. You need to, and that takes
And more
weeks.
with children, wouldn't you say that
Yeah.
as a teacher? They will eat you alive. Children
Oh,
know
totally.
when you don't prepare.
And that takes weeks, if not like months, like to get ready for things. And so, like, no one is going to give you that time except yourself. So you have to set that up.
Yeah.
While you still have what feels like 1,001 other things to do. You know.
Yeah, and especially if you're saying there's 1,000 things to do, when I'm sure it's like about 10. But
Oh yeah, sure.
Jimmy's point right here, it's nicely illustrated, beginning and an end, and that's what calendars do. They have a beginning and they have an end. And I'm always going to encourage and push us that before we go and plan all this great stuff for our jobs, that we do the same thing with us, right? Like it's gotta start with us, like with your, if you are married, with your spouse, with your children. If right now you're in the hustle of your career, or your business, it's cool, right? Like that is your season, right, in life. And making sure that you start, that there is a beginning, there is an end. And that's what calendars, in my opinion, help us to do, like to narrow things down. So then, my favorite part, when I originally had asked this question, which I thought you were going to say me, because we're different. For me, the end of the cycle, the thing I look forward to was a culminating event, the big gathering where family comes, where people bring their cameras. I mean, they're excited to see their kids perform or show a science project or whatever kind of project. That was, excuse me, life to me, right? For some it could be like, yeah, I'm done. For Jimmy, could have been his Harry Potter um and Pokemon themes and all these themes that he will get have going on. But excuse
Mm.
me, Jimmy, to the beginning and end, I believe let's end here, and we have more coming up this week about benefits of working in seasons, or 90-day calendars, or quarters. Woo! And Patty's got to go very soon. With that, any other thoughts before we wrap up, Zito?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, like, for me, the culminating events were always, great and amazing, and like the different themes that we did for camps, or the different cycles of the after school program. But I just always was more excited about the setup to all that stuff, like all the stuff that no one else saw. Like getting your staff on board, having a good plan for them, having something that we wanted, like a challenge goal or like a stretch goal. Okay, like we're celebrating our wins, but this time we're gonna try and go there. That to me is like always the most exciting part. And I don't like I do feel like it's a teachable skill, but I do feel like it's something that not everybody like. There's no pressure to develop that. And
Develop
I
what
think
exactly?
that type of skill where it's like you're really prepping, like for whatever you're doing, like you're looking at your calendar and you're planning on, like, how am I going to begin this, and how am I going to end it. The thing is almost like secondary to whatever it is that we're doing. It's like getting that good vision, communicating that vision, getting your people on board, and then going out and doing the thing, and then celebrating at the end. And then looking forward to ahead to, like, oh, how, like, we did really good in this, what do we want to improve going forward.
So you're
That to
saying
me,
that it's a skill or not a skill? Sorry, I missed that part. That it
well,
is a
I
skill,
was
correct?
I was thinking out loud because I do think it's a teachable skill, but I don't think like there's no, like, necessarily, like, at least in my experience, there's no, like, administration above you that's going to be like, you need to get this skill. It's just such a less stressful way of, like, running things,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because even in the school system I work in now, it's like they have things that, okay, this happens every year. They should have a plan for it. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing should go wrong at this point. They've been doing it for 10 years, or longer in a lot of cases. And it's like, why is this so difficult? Why is it every time it's like we're reinventing the wheel?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, you had a good point with staff, of getting staff buy-in. And the same will go, what I would say, when we're doing our best to do this in our personal lives, right? It's like asking those questions, well, what matters? Because it's getting your own buy-in, people.
yeah, that's
Understanding that
a great
you
way of saying
matter.
it.
It's you matter. So and again, depending on those responses, it's like the more responsibility you take, the less blame shifting. I mean, are we going to blame shift? Absolutely, right? Especially in different areas. But yeah, you matter. Your time matters, superstar. And again, I hope you guys check out the blog in there if you are a reader. Drop some comments in there. And Zito, thank you so much for joining this conversation.
Yeah.
Where is he?
I'm here.
There you are. All right, honey. We
All right.
shall end with a music, and we'll see you all tomorrow on Wednesday. Oh no, Yanni, why? Okay, I can't hear the music, but I'm sure that you could. Please help us spread the word.
I took a stroll downtown this evening when I heard music echo through the night.